Hi, everyone. Welcome back to The Whole Truth. I'm Giller Bell, your attorney at law. Let me just fix my video a little bit. Hope everyone is doing well this fine evening. Today, I want to discuss a topic unrelated to my recent lives. I've been focusing a lot on the Tyler Robinson case and everything associated with that. But today I want to discuss the latest news from Iran. Hi, Alita. So, if you're looking for Candace trash talking, I'm sure that will come up. Uh, but I just wanted to watch the news and I thought, why not do it live and share it with you all? So, without any further ado, let me get everything started. Now, so, I don't know where you guys get your news from, but if you want news from Iran or about Iran, it's not from Iran. It's hard to get news from within Iran, but about Iran, you need to check out Tusi TV, Tousi TV. He's the best person to get news from on this topic. So let me pull it up. And while I'm doing that, hi Megan. We're doing some 2C TV watch party. Is that cool?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to 2C TV. This is your global news channel. I'm Maya 2C, and President Trump has launched a manhunt for the IRGC leaders, the remaining IRGC leaders. The currency in Iran continues to collapse as the Iranian banks are now closing down their local branches in fear of protest and exodus of their customers. We're going to give you guys the details of the.
Yeah, 2CTV is where it's at for all news Iran related. I know he talks about other topics, but he's best for Iran. Um, yeah, I heard this too. It's probably going to come up in this live. By the way, you guys, you guys are my guinea pigs. I did get a little bit of lighting because I got sick of having really crappy lighting. Trying next investment will be for um turn up the volume when playing 2C. Okay, got it. Yeah, for some reason the way that the lighting is, I'm sorry, not the lighting, the sound, it comes through my microphone. So I got to put my microphone near the computer speakers. It's annoying. I don't know why OBS is doing that, but I got to figure it out. Okay.
Reaction to Operation Economic Outcast or Economic D-Day. And we're going to be joined by a very special guest for this show, which I'll bring him on in a couple of minutes. I'm just going to show you the chaos in Iran again. This is, I think, a third day in a row where we've been focusing on that part of the mess that the Islamic occupation has created. This is about, of course, the fuel shortages. They are closing down a huge number of petrol stations or gas stations up and down the country. People are becoming more desperate by the hour. And let's go to a video we received from the capital in Tehran. And then we're going to talk about the manhunt. Which IRGC leaders are on the hit list? Of course, this is sort of a retaliation after the Islamic Republic state media reported that they want to hunt down Baron Trump. Yeah, good luck with that.
Is the sound okay from the video now? 4 means good, 5 means bad, nothing means I'm assuming it's good.
Let's quickly go to Tehran, then we're going to go to our guest and get his reaction as well. It's a massive line of cars. That's still happening. Obviously, yesterday's report we showed you, those who were waiting for hours, and once they get to the front, everything runs out, and the cars stop driving. And
Hi, Van Cruz. Thank you for joining. You guys can hear it? Okay. I don't know what to, you know what? It's just really low. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna try something. You guys are so great for putting up with this. If you guys ever have a channel or anything and you're struggling with your tech, I promise I will stick by you the same way you guys stick by me. No, okay, now there's no audio. It was working fine before, and then OBS decided to just hate my life. Let me do something. Audio input. Okay, let's see. So it's working on the microphone. Okay, I can tell that's not working. So let's see how we fix this. Okay. Not working either. Can you hear it now?
Candace Owens, apparently everyone in America should be an isolationist.
Well, yeah, you would think that Americans would have gotten the message, I don't know, maybe 47 years ago when the IRGC and the Islamic regime, with the taking of American hostages from our embassy and holding them hostage for 444 days. That's how this whole monster that becomes the Islamic regime begins, and unfortunately, tragically, a lot of Americans have forgotten about that. But praise God that Donald Trump has not forgotten about that. He was speaking about destroying the Islamic regime all the way back in 1980, and he's a man that promises made, promises kept.
Absolutely. Well, in terms of the promises kept, of course, in in January, well, in February, after the January uprising, when he said send is on its way. Obviously, send, but help is on its way. Help was sent, and in terms of the strikes on the regime and the leadership, but now the promise that he made decades ago, destroying the regime from within, is happening. I'm going to get your reaction on the power outages in Iran, but let me just quickly show you guys this quick update on this matter because the Islamic Republic's parliament decided to have a meeting about the blackouts, and somehow during the meeting the power was cut. This was the Parliamentary Energy Commission.
Can I just say that
oh my gosh.
you guys are the best for sticking with me through this this technical problems that I keep running into. Thank you. So, I don't want to see any Iranian people suffer, but I want them to rise up and overthrow this regime so badly. This regime has caused them more suffering than anyone. Now there's an echo. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy.
The echo is actually something that I think I can fix. Um, so I think it's hilarious in a way that they can't even keep the lights on in their own parliament. Trump is fucking up Iran right now. He is really fucking them up, probably more than any bombing could, and they deserve it. They deserve it. Um, this regime deserves to fall. When you kill 50,000 of your own people, you deserve to fall. And I think it's hilarious. I'm all for it. I want to see it keep failing. I want them to be humiliated. I want them to look like fools. And uh, no, the Iranian people want this. The Iranian people, the vast majority. Now, of course, they don't like having no power. They don't like having no fuel. No one does. But they want this regime gone, and they understand that this is against their regime. The regime has declared war on us for 47 years. They chant in their parliament death to America daily or weekly. Uh, so I think what goes around comes around. Fuck around and find out. So fuck this regime. I want them humiliated. We took out their supreme leader. Now they have a cardboard leader. And they think that they're making us suffer. And I just go out and I see how beautiful our country is. Yeah, we have problems, but we have power. We have water. So fuck them. Nothing will be better for peace, for Israel, for the US, for Iranians, for the Palestinians. The Palestinians have to be made aware, be forced to become aware that Israel's not going anywhere, and the more that they keep fighting, the more they suffer. Israel's doing fine. It's the Palestinians that suffer from it. So, and it's all because Iran uses them as cannon fodder. So, for the sake of the Palestinians, we want to bring this regime down. You guys can't hear it? Fuck my life. You guys, you have no idea because I'm hearing it. It was working perfectly fine. And thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's frustrating though. It's like how many fucking problems can I run into? Um
Well, it seems like takes us to the next point of the updates. It seems like they don't really have a choice. They are mostly in hiding. That's why President Trump has asked the State Department to launch a massive manhunt of the five remaining senior leaders of the IRGC. One of them already dead on the list. So out of the five, it's basically we've got four to go. So we've got Ahmad Vahidi on the left, which is the head of the IRGC military, the commander-in-chief. And he's basically running the country. We also have Ali Abdullahi, who's the chief of Iran's Central Military Command. And they also have Saeed Arani, who is the IRGC's Aerospace Force commander, who should just resign because it's embarrassing what the Air Force has failed to do in Iran, and terrible performance. And we also have Hamid Reza Lashkarian, who's the chief of the IRGC's Cyber Electronic Command. Well done. And of course, the last one, who was the head of the IRGC intelligence. I did mention
Thank
this,
you, Dan.
Jake, to the viewers yesterday. Some already know this story, but the former president, one of the puppets of the Islamic Republic, a while ago came out and admitted that the supreme leader asked him to set up an anti-Mossad intelligence agency in Iran, and they had to shut it down because the head of that intelligence was actually Mossad, and everybody he recruited was Mossad. So it's so embarrassing.
Oh no, like Mossad is they are the most epic, you know, this most amazing guys ever, and yeah, how they so deeply infiltrate into enemy territory and insert themselves into every level of the enemy's military apparatus and government it's truly extraordinary, and I applaud Israel, the IDF, and Mossad with all my heart.
Yes. What are your thoughts on the State Department?
You guys, just so you know, when I do finally get all my tech together, which I will, I'm so deeply grateful because I need to practice, you know, and I need to get good at this the stuff, so that because I can't really practice it by myself. So I really do appreciate you guys helping so much. I just want to say that.
Going off the IRGC leaders, until like yesterday, we were having the U.S. administration saying, yeah, of course, we'll have negotiations. Maybe there will be a deal or not. But going after the remaining members of the leadership, that seems serious, right?
Oh, it's absolutely what needs to happen. In fact, I mean, I'm of the position that this should have been happening from day one. I mean, this should have been going on from day one. Unfortunately, we had, you know, all of that nonsense of, you know, we can make a deal with them, we can negotiate with these guys. You know, that's just, you know, total nonsense. But finally, the Trump administration is getting its ducks in a row, as it were, and it's going after the head of this dragon, going after these remainers. And I find it a bit hilarious how we have the United States, Trump administration, that yes, we've got a $10 million bounty on the heads of these monsters, and we have the capacity to actually go after these guys and eliminate them one by one, and Israel has the same capacity. But of course, at the same time, we have the IRGC that puts a $10 million, as you mentioned earlier, on the head of Barron Trump, the son of Donald Trump. And it's like, yeah, good luck with that. Yeah, you guys try your best, but you know what? You're not going to get within 100 miles of Barron Trump.
But that's the key point. We will talk about that because for the assassination of President Trump, there's a new fundraising in Iran, and the people's fundraising, which is basically the members of the regime, they have raised about $500. So that's a good amount. That will be enough for one bullet, I guess.
Hey, you only got just a little bit, more to go. Yeah.
Yeah, but the situation inside Iran obviously is getting really bad for the people. But a lot of people are sending messages to the world saying we can take this. I mean, a lot of them can't, but there are those who are very passionate about this cause. They're saying we'd rather suffer short term. That means that we could be liberated later on. There's a guy in Iran, the video I'm about to show you is showing holding a €1 coin next to a 2 million rial note, saying that this little coin is worth more. Let's quickly watch this with their subtitles.
درود، من این فیلم میگیرم برای گزارشگر ایران اینترنشنال. این یورویی هستش و 2 میلیون ریال. ببین دقیقا معادل هم هستن، اما این یه سکه 1 یورویی که میبینید این 300,000 ریال دیگه، این بیشتر از 2 میلیون ریاله. اینجا نگاه کنید زده 2 million ریال، 2 میلیون ریال. این هم از دستاورد این رژیم توی 50 سال.
Yeah, I mean, as the guy said, this is the achievement that the regime have managed to gain in the last almost 50 years. Before I get your reaction on this, just for the record, there's a lot of memes the Iranians are posting on social media. One of them is this, that shows on the left is 1978, when the king was in Iran, saying that 1,000 rial under the Shah equaled 3 kilograms of beef. This is not, it's a joke, but it's actually real. 1,000 rial under the Islamic regime today is worth 1/10 of a single sheet of toilet paper. I mean, it's like supposed to be ludicrous, but it's also actually accurate. Insane.
Yeah, but this is the reality of what these extreme.
Megan, I'm happy you're better, but I'm not happy you're smoking. That's not good for you. This is tobacco, nicotine. Without it, I'd be smoking a pack a day. But I know it's not good for me either. But I need my nicotine. And so it's either this or cigarettes. And with cigarettes, there's other shit. Are you guys okay with being my guinea pig just like a little bit more? I want to see if now, because I think I fixed the whole echo stuff. I want to see if now my head.
Okay. Now I want, okay. So I think you guys can hear me on my microphone okay?
Pure evil death cults and ideologies create is they come in with the promise of paradise, they come in with the promise of prosperity and liberty and all of these things, but because they worship evil and they serve the lie, they can't actually deliver on any of these promises. They promise joy and happiness, but they only deliver misery. They promise liberty, but they only deliver slavery and bondage. That's the reality of every type of ideology
you guys
that is
are the
based
best.
on lies. But getting
Megan,
to the Iranian people, just a quick mention.
Was it you that helped me fix my squeaking chair? I think I need to hire you as like my handy person. Although I still have a little bit of squeakiness, it is much better. Thank you so much, Van Cruz. Thank you both, all three.
About that and acknowledging, of course, the reality that there's a tremendous number of the Iranian people that are suffering a tremendous deal, during this time as we're looking at what will be the eventual collapse of this satanic Islamic regime. If there's one thing that I have personally seen from the Iranian people and all of the associations that I have had with them, and I am
You're the
blessed
best,
and
Megan.
honored by these
I
associations,
love everyone.
these amazing,
I love all of you.
courageous, and very beautiful people, is that they can endure this, because keeping this death cult regime around is not an option. You want to talk about President Trump? This was, this was a couple of months back when there was still this, we're having a deal, trying to make a deal work with the IRGC and with the Islamic regime. President Trump talked.
Wait, you guys are going to the casinos? Am I invited? I love blackjack. I love blackjack. Which casinos? Wait, where are you guys? What state are you? Are my 3 watchers in? No. Cal, North Carolina, right? Alita, you're the one with the beautiful accent. Well, Van Cruz, if you're ever gonna hit up a casino, let me know. We can hit up in California. You cleaned up once a week, at least once a week, Megan. You mean at the casino? Yeah, I never really played the roulette. I always play the blackjack, which is like the easiest way to lose money, but it's also the quickest way to win money. So I guess roulette's kind of like that. Poker, I like poker too, but it's too slow. I want to lose my money fast. Yeah, I sometimes go to Oxnard Players Casino. Where's Red Hawk? I've never been Red Hawk. Yeah, well, Alita, don't go to casino. I'm such a bad influence. I'm like talking about this and casinos. It's not a good habit. None of it is. Casinos, there's a reason they make so much money. It's not because they're paying out. You could get lucky. Red Hawk in Cali, I've never been there. Slot machines, you know what? It's funny because my wife plays the slot machines and she actually wins more money from slot machines than I do at blackjack. But I even though blackjack it's like probably lower chances of winning, I feel like I have at least a say in it.
Talked about a successful and prosperous Iran, and it's like that's not going to happen as long as this regime remains intact. That's a fact. You have to destroy this regime. You have to completely eliminate them. The Iranian people understand this, and so they're willing to go through, because they're so courageous and so patriotic and loving for their nation. They're willing to go through the suffering in the here and now for the actual liberty that will come once this regime is destroyed and there is real success and real prosperity for the nation once we have Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi back in.
Yeah, I mean that's the key point in terms of the Islamic regime and how they think.
I have no say in who the Iranians want to run their country. That's their choice. But I definitely like the Prince Reza Pahlavi. I definitely like him. And if I were Trump, maybe Trump is being strategic by not like officially endorsing him and throwing his weight behind him. But I would like to see, Javid Shah. I would like to see Trump meeting with the prince and like saying he's our guy. That's what I would like to see, but maybe it's not a good strategy. We don't want to look like we're installing it for the Iranian people. We want the Iranian people to choose. By the way, have any of you come across this latest controversy with Alex Jones? So Mark Levin, and this is just my cursory understanding of what's going on. Mark Levin had this doctor on named Sheila Nazarian. Sheila Nazarian is an Iranian Jewish person. And so Alex Jones, so she said that she's Iranian. And so Alex Jones said, "Oh, how can you be Iranian?" Basically implying that there's no such thing as Iranian Jews. And I'm not Iranian, but I have so many Persian Jewish friends. Like probably most of my friends are Persian Jews. In Los Angeles, there's tons of them. And that really pisses me off because there were hundreds, I don't know about hundreds, but at least 100,000 Iranian Jews. They all left after the Islamic Revolution, most of them to Los Angeles, but a lot of them to Israel, a lot of them to Canada. And they are never, I tell my Iranian Jewish friends, I'm like, you guys should be more proactive in public because nobody knows about you. And they're all pro-America, American patriots. They're usually pretty wealthy, and they're all pro-Israel, and they all hate the Iranian regime. And I feel like they would have a lot of credibility to say, like, you look, we're just as Iranian Muslims. In fact, Jews were around in Iran or Persia long before Islam was, thousands of years. And they're all pro-Israel. And so people like to, paint them as like, there's a few Jews left in Iran. And of course, they have to say that they support the regime. Otherwise, they'll be killed. So people, always use them and say, oh, you see, the Iranian regime isn't anti-Jewish. It's just anti-Zionist. They have Iranian Jews there. And it's just BS because there's more Iranian Jews in Beverly Hills than there are in Iran. And they're all in favor of toppling this regime. So anyways, Alex Jones is just another one of these people that's infected Jay-sperging. Yeah. I mean, everything that's inconvenient to the anti-Israel narrative is just ignored. And it's infuriating because, and I'm not one of these people that thinks Israel is, what's the expression, pure as the driven snow. I criticize Israel as much as you want, but just be consistent. Jones is an idiot. You could tell he's just kind of stupid. That's why he's bankrupted. He's an idiot. Anyways, let's continue with 2C.
The fascinating part is that because of the religion or cult, basically political cult that they have, on the one hand, obviously Islam means submission. You literally have to submit. So it's not salvation, it's not liberation, it's actually submission. And they despite that, they have a lot of, let's just say, objectively speaking, pride, right? A lot of arrogance. So they've been saying, we're winning, everything's fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong over here. But it seems like the narrative is also slowly changing in Iran because of the infighting. So let me show you this. These are the direct quotes from the leaders. This is the so-called president of the Islamic Republic, who nobody cares about, including his own family. He says that the war must come to an end at some point. A notable admission, according to the State Department. Actually, this is the U.S. Treasury that posted this. We also had this from the Speaker of Parliament, Ghalibaf, saying, no matter how much military power we have, if people are hungry and we don't have financial circulation, economic growth and domestic production will not endure. So obviously, what he's talking about is not actually the Iranian people. He's talking about their own people and their own supporters.
By the way, everyone, I am going, not live, but I'm going on Facts Me tomorrow with, Stephen, I forget his last name. the guy from Facts Me. So he's nice enough to have me on. I think we're going to be pre-filming tomorrow morning, and then he's going to put me on or put the video up later. So please check that out. Keep helping my channel grow. Thank you. Yeah, I like Facts Me. Lancaster. You guys are great. And I probably owe it to one or all of you for helping me promote my channel to him. So thank you so much. Your husband has a maiden name? You took your last name, Van Cruz? I wanted to be polite and be like, oh, that's quite feminist. Hi, Tribal Queen. Thank you for joining. Yeah, Stephen Lancaster seems really cool.
Who are they are getting angry because they're getting desperate. So he has to calm them down. And the reaction to this from Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, was he said, Iran's leadership is admitting what the world can now see. The pressure is working. President Masoud Pezeshkian acknowledged Iran's economic shortages, saying the war must come to an end at some point. Ghalibaf, Iran's parliamentary speaker, was even more direct, and obviously said that we will not endure. Under President Trump, Treasury will continue to sever every economic lifeline sustaining this regime until Tehran stands alone. I want to get your reaction on this, because the rhetoric from Scott Bessent and the government is slightly changing. It was until now, because the US in general are terrified, the system, of being responsible for any regime change, especially in the Middle East, because of the past. So anything we heard rhetoric-wise publicly from President Trump himself as well was, he might have tweeted a couple of times, this regime, like the regime change, but as a joke. But he kind of always said that we want to eliminate the threat from the Islamic Republic. We will punish them until they come back to the table. Now the rhetoric is until Tehran stands alone, or until, as Scott Bessent said, this is the end game until the regime is destroyed. What's happening there?
Well, it's actually something that I'm overjoyed to see, because when this began, operation.
Yeah, I feel like when you go 90% of the way, and we went 90% of the way in April and May, and what was it actually? I mean, when we started the war, we took out the supreme leader, then we kept going, and it seemed like we were on the verge. Then Trump kind of hit the brakes. It's like, no, we wouldn't even be talking about this if Trump went the full 100% of the way. I love Trump. I'll always love Trump, but he should have just done 100% of the way. We wouldn't be worried about this right now. So I think he was a little naive. He thought that they would negotiate in good faith. I think that J.D. Vance and Witkoff and Kushner gave him some bad advice. And now I'm worried that he's going to pay for it in the midterms, but it is what it is.
Epic Fury and Lions Roar on February 28th, President Trump was making very direct promises to the Iranian people, acknowledging the hardships that they're going through, of course, acknowledging the reality that it was only a month and a half earlier on January 8th and 9th that we have 40,000 plus Iranians slaughtered in the streets by these devils and these demons. And then it's in those first 6 weeks of Operation Epic Fury that he's making such statements like there will be no deal with Iran except unconditional surrender. But then we had that period of, insanity, that period of, hey, maybe we can have a deal done. And it seems like that rhetoric is out the window, it's off the table, and now it's getting back even to acknowledging the extreme humanitarian crisis that's happening in Iran. I want to read for you what President Trump posted to Truth Social just earlier today. He said, quote, "The failing Islamic Republic of Iran is not paying large segments of their military while at the same time killing protesters, even when they are not protesting at levels not seen before. It is a humanitarian crisis of epic proportions and must be stopped now." President Donald J. Trump. That's what I want to see from the president. I want him seeing, to be acknowledging the extreme humanitarian crisis, the suffering of the Iranian people, and acknowledging that it has to come to an end, and that is the regime needs to be eliminated. So I'm very.
So here's the thing. Here's the problem. At this point, Trump has to win the midterms. If he loses the midterms, that's a problem for everybody. And this war is not too popular. He did bad messaging. Just calling a spade. They did not message this war well. They're still not messaging it well. And if he loses the midterm, then the Democrats are going to spend 2 years trying to impeach him for God knows what nonsense. And so that has to be a priority. And it kind of sucks because, again, he should have just went ham. He won't get anything done, and they might actually impeach him. He won't be convicted, but he won't be evicted from office. But they will institute the proceedings and everything, and it's just going to slow him down, and he won't be able to get anything done. So, at this point, I like the economic warfare. I think it's actually more effective than the bombing anyway. So, he's doing what he's got to. He's doing it right. But I just wish he went hard at the beginning. He kind of dropped the ball a little bit. He does seem to be doing things a little bit ad hoc. Yeah, if he's impeached and actually removed from office, then Vance would take over. But I have my problems with Vance. I have a lot of concerns about Vance. And pretty much 100% of them is that he has not repudiated Tucker Carlson. Sorry, I think of Tucker Carlson as the most dangerous anti-Semite in American history, not world history. He doesn't rise to, Hitler level, but in American history, I think Tucker Carlson is the worst. And so Vance not repudiating him is very concerning. Today I dropped off my daughter. She was going to public school last year, but we took her to Jewish school this year. And I dropped her off at her school, second grade, and there's armed guards everywhere. And then I dropped off my baby at daycare at a synagogue, and there's armed guards there too. And it's right next to a church, and there's no armed guards there. And of course, I'm happy. I don't want there to need to be armed guards either place. But it's just a sad fact. There's armed guards at every synagogue, every Jewish school. The level of Jew hatred now is just out of control. And sometimes I feel like, okay, it's all online, but online turns to real world, pretty easily. And we have people like Tucker Carlson to blame. So until Vance really repudiates Tucker, again, if he repudiates Tucker, like unequivocally, Vance is my guy. I mean, I'd still prefer Rubio. I mean, there'd still be other people I prefer, but cool. I'm cool with Vance. But until he does that, I have a big problem with him.
Very pleased seeing that he's getting back to more of that language and the decisions and actions that we were seeing originally with Operation Epic Fury and Lion's Roar.
Yes, no, you're absolutely right, because a lot of people would have said, okay, maybe in February, March, he got excited and he thought that, it's going to be quick. But then he kind of learned maybe I shouldn't be that direct. So at this point, he shouldn't be direct based on what we've seen. So if he's becoming more direct, it seems like they're becoming more confident about whatever attempt they're making, whatever strategy they have.
Yeah, and he seems to be more committed and determined than, it's not just about making a deal with them, and it's not even so much, just making sure that Iran, the Islamic regime, never has a nuclear weapon, but that they are stopped, they are eliminated, they are taken off the table. We see, of course, the bounties on the heads of these remaining leaders as evidence of that. And once again, I really do appreciate him getting back to acknowledging the suffering of the Iranian people themselves. That's how this began. That was the focus at the beginning. It seems to be the focus once again.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the situation is obviously it's very fast and quickly developing every second. And what you guys see on the screen, by the way, is the Situation Room, which is an independent platform that can actually keep you posted on all the live intel, including a live interactive map and everything else. It's not part of 2CTV Plus, but we have a partnership with them. We got 2CTV News on it. The link is in the description. If you join, you get full access to this. Before I get to the next point of the reports, I want to say thank you to Jake Hilton. Jake, you have a podcast. Do you want to do a plug?
Yes, I do. I mean, if anyone really, wants to, support what I do and follow me, then certainly I appreciate that. You can find me on X at, the handle is The Dem Slayer, and so that's all one word. The Dem, DEM Slayer. You can find me on X. The growth that we've been seeing on there is phenomenal. Really appreciate that. Appreciate all the love, all the support. We're dedicated to, once again, being a Christian pastor and being a Christian Zionist. I am 100% MAGA. I am 100% for Israel and 100% for the Iranian people, and also 100% in teaching the truth of the Holy Bible and delivering that truth to the people. Thank you for this. I mean, this has been absolutely amazing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming on the show, Jake. Cheers. Ladies and gentlemen, let's continue, as we also have to go back to another statement we received from President Trump earlier. He said that I have just been informed by the United States Navy that all mines have been removed and or detonated from within the international waters of the Strait of Hormuz. Iran has been notified that any ship or boat placing new mines...
No, what is Prometheus Action, Van Cruz?
...will be immediately and systemically destroyed. Through Space Force, we are watching every square inch of the strait, as we are also with Pickaxe Mountain and the already destroyed 3 other nuclear sites. There is a zero tolerance policy on mine placing in full force and effect. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. So obviously, if we take this on face value, that means that this has been a major successful operation by the US military, who are basically in control of the Strait of Hormuz right now. And any Iranian ships that gets close will be in trouble. So that's why you can see the rhetoric has changed. The Islamic Republic are now just barking, not like a crazy dog, but like a wounded animal. We've had this from President Trump saying that obviously they are in control, the US military. On the other hand, the reaction from the regime has been to publicly announce assassination plots. The Prime Minister of Israel's family, one of his sons, has been a target of an assassination plot. The Prime Minister has now confirmed this to the Channel 14 of Israel and the military correspondent, saying that the Islamic regime attempted to assassinate one of his sons, but this is not the only one. As I've said before, the Islamic Republic state media also broadcast a video claiming that they are aware of Barron Trump's movements, President Trump's son, and security arrangements have been made to assassinate him, kidnap and assassinate him. And they've also announced a $10 million reward for targeting Baron Trump. Of course,
Not smart, Iran. Not smart.
if you're going to do this sort of stuff, instead of actually begging for forgiveness and signing some sort of deal, President Trump is not going to be too happy about this. And in the case of the Prime Minister of Israel, let's just say Bibi doesn't forgive or forget when it comes to his family and his sons. So keep watching the live developments, because things are about to get a little bit heated, let's just say. On the issue of the Israelis and their reaction, they have continued to carry out more fresh airstrikes against the IRGC's proxies, both in the north and in the south. First, we're going to go to Gaza City, the northern parts of Gaza City, as a Hamas desalination plant that was under construction has been destroyed, as well as a mosque. More mosques in Gaza are getting destroyed, rightly so, because they are being used as Islamic bases. Let's go to Gaza City.
شوي بشان ولك استنى في الثالث تعال المبنى ابو سلام ايوه قلم وليد قلم وليد
They were warned. They were told to disarm. Put down your weapons. They're not listening.
يمكن فيها شك.
It's very sad. It's very sad what's happening to Palestinians. They need to accept Israel. That's it. If the Palestinians disarmed, there would be peace. There would be peace. If Israel disarmed, October 7th times a million. I firmly believe that, which is why Israel in the right. That's the simplest and easiest way to explain it. I don't like generalizing and insulting a whole group of people, because you will find good Palestinians that are peace loving. There's not enough of them, certainly not enough of them, but there are some. And there's Muslims that serve in the Israeli army, there's Muslims that serve in the American army, and I feel like if we insult them and alienate them, then they're probably more important of an ally, than people in our side, in a way. So anyways, I try not to do to them or say to them the type of stuff that most of them say about me and my people and Americans who are my people. I don't want to get dragged into that. So yeah, I mean, Palestinian is it's a new identity that was created after Israel, basically. There was a Palestine, but it was just meant for the area. They were just called Arabs of Palestine because they're Arabs that migrated from Syria and Egypt and Jordan. And yeah, that's the way I look at it, Megan. The people of Palestine have been brainwashed. I mean, here's a fun kind of data point to think about. Their whole, not every gripe, they have legitimate grievances. They do. In the West Bank, there's legitimate grievances. But the fundamental basis of the Palestinian cause is that, what, 80 years ago, in due to a war started by the Arabs, about 750,000 Palestinians were kicked out of their house or left because of a war that was started by the Arabs to destroy Israel, and now they live 20 miles away. And they're still called refugees. And that's it. That's the whole basis of their cause. It's like, imagine living in Santa Monica. Imagine your grandparents were evicted wrongfully, let's just say, let's give them that, wrongfully evicted from Santa Monica, and now they live in downtown LA. Like literally that distance. And you still are teaching your children to want to go blow themselves up so that you can move back into your grandfather's shack in Santa Monica. It's pathetic. It's a whole pathetic movement. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that anybody should have been displaced. There was bad things done by all sides, but that's basically the gist of the whole Palestinian cause. 80 years ago, some of them were kicked out of their houses during a war. I mean, who still, this day and age, lives in the exact same plot of land that their grandparents lived in? Is that like a right that's recognized for any other people? And that is basically it. That's the whole Palestinian cause. And when you think about it like that, it's pretty pathetic, isn't it? Now, again, I'm not saying that they don't have other grievances, but yeah, pathetic is the word I think of when I think of Palestine. I think of pathetic. So, anyways, they could keep fighting this for 15 generations if they want. If they think that they're going to move back to their grandfather's plot of land where he had a shack and now it's a data center in Israel or something. Keep living in misery. That's what you want. You want to teach your kids that instead of trying how to make a better life. You know that there were more Jews that were kicked out of Muslim countries than the Palestinians that were kicked out. And that wasn't a result of a war. That was just a result of discrimination and Jew hatred. Take my family in Israel. My dad was born in Morocco. His whole family, probably they've been in Morocco longer than the Muslims have. They all left. Same thing with Jews in Iraq and Syria and Yemen and Iran, Lebanon, Egypt. There's no more Jews there. You want to talk about ethnic cleansing? There are 0 Jews left in those countries, except for Iran has a few token Jews. So, get over it. Move on. Most people don't live in the same plot of land as their grandparents. I mean, what are they thinking, that they're going to move in with all of their cousins and second cousins and third cousins into their great grandfather's old shack and blow up? If it's McDonald's now in Israel, they're going to blow it up and make it into the shack again. Like, get over it. It's pathetic. So anyways, that's the whole Palestine cause in a nutshell. Now you mix that in with all the Islamic, jihad cause and everything, it adds a whole new dimension, and that's what Iran is about. But their fundamental grievance is that they live now 20 miles east of where their great-grandfather lived. And they're still bitching about it. They still hold on to the key and they say, we're going to go back to the home. No. Make a better life for your kids. Make a better life for your kids. Stop fantasizing about destroying Israel. Or you see the consequences. Keep fighting. Is it going well for you? Has it been going well for them for the past 80 years to fight? Doesn't seem like it. They seem to be bitching all the time.
Now they're finding out. So while obviously this whole situation has been escalating, we also have the latest strikes from in Lebanon. I'll get to that in a second. There's a video coming in. Jacob, thank you very much.
So I don't know who was watching the Rage Bronson live, um, where the guy, one of these J Spur Jew hating piece of shit, was saying that Israel killed Charlie Kirk and whatever, and his main piece is that Israel has committed more targeted assassinations than any other country, and that somehow reflects Israel's willingness to assassinate. And he couldn't point to a single instance of Israel doing that to an American, but yeah, Israel is under constant attack and they have to go on the offensive. You want just one example? Take a look here. I'm going to do something. This will be a good example here. This is the flag and slogan, or the slogan is on the flag of the Houthi movement. The Houthis are, they own a chunk of Yemen. Probably the chunk of Yemen that they own is probably larger than the whole state of Israel by many times. This is their flag, their slogan. God is the greatest. Okay, that's cool. Death to America. This is their flag. It says this. Death to Israel. Of course. A curse upon the Jews. Victory to Islam. That's one terrorist organization that has a huge territory. I don't know how many millions of people or hundreds of thousands. They're dedicated to destruction of America. I mean, good luck with that. Israel, and then, for good measure, a curse upon the Jews. So when people like Tucker Carlson and others say that, Israel exaggerates the threat, this is just one terrorist organization. There's dozens, hundreds of these organizations around the world. So, anyways, they try to make it sound like, Israel's just overly paranoid. They're doing all this to expand. Let me pull something else up. Look at a world map. Can you even find Israel on this map? I mean, I'm sure you can find it, but look, it's so tiny. They can't even fit the letters or the word Israel on the country. That's and they're the expansionist ones, right? They're the ones that are trying to take over the world. Yeah, can't even hold on to this. And by the way, most is desert, so it's like, it's not even like the tiny bit of Israel that exists is like all inhabited. Most of it's desert. There's coastal cities and stuff, and then Jerusalem and other cities. But anyone look at a map and say that Israel is trying to take over the world? Look at a fucking map. Let's just take a look at. Okay. This is not even the full map. Hold on. Let me I'm trying to find. Let's compare the Muslim countries to Israel. Muslim, 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 Muslim slash Christian, Muslim, 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 Christian, Muslim, Muslim, and then I think there's like one or two Muslim countries in the Balkans, and then Jewish. Yeah, it's Israel that's trying to take over the world. Right. Right. Okay.
And another one says the warning message of Jesus Christ in Revelation.
Well, there's Christian, just not in the Middle East. Yeah, all these countries. I mean, how did these people think that all these countries came to be Muslim? Just by peacefully? It's so ridiculous.
That makes Muhammad a fake antichrist, basically. IRGC says we got a power. Oh wait, dang it! And what is the? Oh, and I think that was supposed to be a prisoner of war, by the way. There was an A. Brilliant, destroy and dismantle the IRGC regime. Americans want to be friends with Iranians again. And Dagenham Dave says every attempt of mankind to create heaven on earth has turned into hell on earth. Yes, they tell that to that idiot Karl Marx as well. Let's go to the next video from Gaza. This is Deir al-Bala as well. We're getting some updates from southern Lebanon. Firstly, Henry says, full disclosure, I am 60 years old. I always thought that the Iranians were the regime. However, you and Goldie educated me. I was ignorant, but now I'm a smarter American on this topic. Thank you, mate. Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. Glad to be of help. Tusi has the libtards got Greg the goat because when he ran out of goats to give the IRGC, he swapped them for... I don't know how to react to this, but yeah, long live Greg the Goat, I guess. There, Winston says, Tusi, do you believe that the October Surprise is going to develop World War III with China and Russia due to Iran war? No, absolutely not. Don't listen to Tucker Carlson. Let's go to southern Lebanon in Zautar al-Sharakia as more Hezbollah militants have been wiped out. Right, let me just quickly go on. As I said, don't forget to check out the Situation Room. The link is in the description. I received a few emails. It's not part of 2CTV Plus. It's its own independent platform. We are in partnership with them. But yeah, they got their own company, obviously separately. But yes, it's a very good platform if you want to stay up to date with everything. The link is in the description directly under this video. And another one, Allah Akbar, now they have their 72 kindergartens. Well, I don't want to think about that, but right. We will be also keeping us up to date with the situation in Russia as the Ukrainians have advanced by striking a couple of very important positions of the Russian Federation. And of course, the CIA director has done a surprise visit to Moscow. We will keep you guys posted on that as usual. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Maya Tusi, and we
Does anyone have a good suggestion? But it's got to be like a half an hour or less because I'm need to go to sleep soon. I got to wake up early for my Facts Me appearance.
He said to the Iranian people, is the regime...
So, ooh, I want to see this one. This one looks interesting. We have some other interesting stuff. This guy, Pesach Walicki, he is the Israeli rabbi that Candace Owens always talks about. And he's actually like American born, but he lives in Israel now. And he provides a lot of good commentary. So you guys should follow him. Yeah, I've watched Goldie a lot. I've watched Armin some. The thing about Goldie is that she has like 5-hour videos, and a lot of it is just kind of not very poignant, I guess you could say. It's just, but she has good stuff in the mix, but you never know, because it's like you got to kind of sift through hours and hours, so I'm not going to play her. But yeah, I mean, I love her stuff. I just, she has a lot of extra stuff. Oh, really? She banned you for asking a question? She was an ass? Yemeni business. No. Is it Avi Yemeni or something like that? Avi? Really? Van Cruz? That kind of surprised me because she seems like she's not that type person, but I got your back. Van Cruz. I'm curious what question you asked that pissed her off. Was it in a super chat or was it? What about 2 Oren? No, I haven't heard. Haven't heard of 2 Oren. I've heard of. She doesn't like people that are asking questions that aren't pro-Iran. Yeah, well, I mean, she's very pro-Iran. But you got to be willing to, entertain questions. Look, I think it's perfectly reasonable for people in America to say that they're against this war and everything. I get it. I just think that Trump is trying to end something that has been going on for a long time. And the one thing I will push back on is when people say, oh, Trump promised he wouldn't do this. No, Trump was very clear. He was not going to let Iran get a nuke. Now, he also said he's against forever wars. Yeah, that was part of his campaign. He's against forever wars. This hasn't been a forever war. And really, the bombing and everything is basically done. But to say that Trump lied and he promised he wouldn't, no, he was very clear. Even before he was president, for decades, he said that he would never let Iran get a nuke, and they were on the cusp of it. Traveling Clat, yeah, Tal Oren, yeah, I do watch him sometimes. He has a lot of clickbait though. I'm not, I like him. I'm just saying that like every video of his is like, you won't believe how Greece is destroying Islam or something like that. And it's like, no. But yeah, because he's good. He's really good. And I hope he keeps growing. He's really good. Let's see what Pesach has to say.
In Iran, actually...
I watched like 3 minutes of this. Yeah, that's so cool, Megan. Well, we appreciate support. Really, in this day and age, it seems like the whole world is against us, and so it's nice to know that we have friends.
On the verge of collapse. Now, I don't want to...
But again, I don't even... it's nice to know that we have friends, and I love it, but at the same time, if you're just like not an enemy, if you're just somebody that's like, I don't like Israel, but I don't hate Israel. I just don't give a shit. That's perfectly fine with me. I do not expect anybody to like Israel. I just don't like people that hate Israel. And I was saying this point like during Rage Bronson's stream, someone like Andrew Wilson or that guy Rob, they're not fond of Israel. They don't hate Israel, but they're not fond of it. That's fine, because what they are not are people that seek out lies to make it seem like Israel killed Charlie Kirk. They push back on the lies. And so that is perfectly fine with me. If you're a truth seeker, then I think you're going to be on Israel's side, even if you're not really into it. Because the truth is that Israel didn't kill Charlie Kirk. And the people that hate Israel and are Jew haters, they go down the rabbit holes that lead them to lie about everything. And so if you're just a truth seeker and you just don't care and you're neutral, then you're on my side. Because you'll get to the conclusion that Israel didn't commit genocide. Israel didn't kill Charlie Kirk. Israel doesn't control the world. Israel is not the cause of everything bad in the world. Okay? Yeah, Israel has, maybe you think, too much say in our policies. Okay. Maybe you don't like the Iran war. Okay. Maybe you're against sending money to Israel. I am too. That's fine. You're against this policy of Israel. You're against that. That's totally fine. Just stop blaming everything on Israel. Israel's not the reason that 60,000. Oh, you know what? I want to play a video that I thought was good for you guys. 1 second. We'll come back to this, but let's have some levity here. Well, thank you, Alita. Yeah, I mean, I like it better when someone's on our side. You know, that's nice. But again, if you're just neutral, but you're a truth seeker, then I think you'll be on our side anyways. So this channel has some good stuff. I played one of their videos yesterday, but they have some other good stuff. So I'm going to play some other one.
This is clogged arteries. This is clogged arteries. This is clogged.
I have no idea what...
2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Left-wing student with a placard and a frown says the world's on fire, but she can't put it down. Landlords greedy, daddies mean the Wi-Fi slow. There must be someone pulling strings behind the show. She scrolls all night, the rabbit hole gets deep. Found a grainy meme that never lets her sleep. When your life's a mess and you're feeling rather small, we got the perfect cure to make you 10 feet tall. Losers, grifters, basket cases, every color, every creed, all the angry faces. Whatever's wrong in your life, it ain't you, it's the Jews. It's the Jews. Blame it on the Jews. It's the Jews. It's the Jews. Feel better now, don't you? Griper in his bedroom, Pepe on the wall says the West has fallen and he's gonna take the fall. Girlfriend left him for a bloke who has a job. Globalists did it with their evil bank rob. He's got the charts, the graphs, the triple brackets too. 14 words and 88 will see him through. When your life's a mess and you're feeling rather small, we've got the perfect cure to make you 10 feet tall. Losers, grifters, basket cases, every color, every creed, all the angry faces. Whatever's wrong in your life, it ain't
said the crops all failed and the priest was mad. The plague came rolling through the town. Quick, find a scapegoat, drag him down. Blood libel, matzah, all the old cliches, still doing numbers in 2025 ways.
Hey! Imam on the telly, veins popping in his neck, says the Zionists control the weather. What the heck? Hamas lost again. The rocket misfired. Must be Mossad with a secret wire. From Tehran to Toxtip, same old tune. Different century, still howling at the moon. Losers, grifters, basket cases, every color, every creed, all the angry faces. Whatever's wrong in your life, it ain't you, it's the Jews. It's the Jews. Blame it on the Jews. It's the Jews. It's the Jews. Feel better now, don't you? Oi! It's the Jews. Honest God. It's the Jews.
This professional 32 terabytes SSD capable of holding
Let me see what this is about.
We have some
Yeah,
shocking
Michelle is a
news
great
to show
song.
you guys today. Andrew Colvette at TPUSA revealed what Candace Owens said to him 5 days after Charlie Kirk was murdered, and it will give you chills. We all
right. Yeah, that's back when she said she's great. Let's watch a little pace off.
Now, I don't want to sound too optimistic, and you never know. And that's really one of the rules of history. We have to keep this in mind as we watch this whole situation play out. That when regimes do fall, regimes that we've seen fall, it tends to happen very surprisingly and suddenly. It takes us by surprise. Even if we see all the instability, think about the Assad regime falling. Even with all of the fighting and the civil war and everything that was going on and all of the instability leading up to the fall of the Assad regime, no one saw it coming. No one expected that day, oh my gosh, the Assad regime fell. It was a big surprise, right? The same thing with, even if you go back to the Soviet Union when it finally collapsed, it tends to take us by surprise. Even though we see the deterioration and the collapse, it's always surprising when it happens. So we don't know when this regime is going to fall and what that will look like. We also don't know if everything that Trump is doing is actually going to work. We're going to explore some of that in this video. But there are some signs that things are changing, that maybe there's some cracks at a level that we haven't seen before. And that's what I want to explore. Let's start with a remarkable clip, an amazing clip of U.S. Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, just the other day, talking about these new economic measures, this economic D-Day that Trump announced the other day. And look at the way he describes it. It's really something.
This is going to be the greatest coordinated economic isolation in the history of the world. And we are going to them and saying, you are either with us or against us. You want this murderous regime to end. This will work. It worked in Venezuela once we put up the blockade. It is working in Cuba right now, and it is going to work in Iran, and we are going to collapse this regime.
We are going to collapse this regime. Think about that. We are going to collapse this regime.
Collapse in 2026.
This will be the end. We will end this regime. Those were two lines that he said there. Now, I want to take you back. I want to explain how monumental this is. Scott Bessent is not shooting from the hip, sharing his own take on U.S. policy. If he's going to say something like this in a hit on TV, describing this economic D-Day, then he's describing the current policy.
Who's the most important gay man on the planet?
Trump last week said that there's no more negotiations, and he told his negotiating team to stop talking to the Iranians. And then he announces this economic D-Day, and you have Scott Bessent saying quite plainly that the goal is now to take down the regime. So here we are. All the way back at the beginning of the war, when Trump laid out the military objectives of the war, we've gone over them before. Destroy the Navy, destroy the ballistic missiles, destroy the nuclear program, and knock out their ability to have a proxy network, right? And then in the end of that speech, he said to the Iranian people, the day of your freedom is at hand, and we're going to create conditions whereby you can take back your government, you can take back your country. In other words, he talked about bringing down the regime, but he didn't talk about it as a stated objective. He talked about it as a consequence of what they're going to be doing. And then from that moment forward, and I've talked about this a lot, from that moment forward, he stopped talking about it. And in fact, he stepped away from it. Not only did he step away from it, he started negotiating with the guys in the regime. And we talked about how the Iranian people who were told, stay in your homes, stay inside until the time is right, the time was never right. And then the murderers of tens of thousands of Iranians that started negotiating with the Americans and how betrayed the Iranian people felt. And that's a real thing. I mean, that's a real problem. And now we're seeing the administration say openly, we're here to take down the regime.
You know what, you guys? I have to wake up extra early tomorrow. And I want to keep chatting, but I got to get to sleep. It just hit me. I'm tired. You guys are my favorite. Love you all. Thank you so much. Thank you for being my guinea pigs. You guys need a rest also. But have a great night.